Well, let's go back to the studio where Paul Dickov, Karen Bardsley, and of course our very own presenter extraordinaire will have plenty to talk about.
Thank you so much there to Ali Mann. So it is half time and it is 2-1 to City. And boy, do we have a Manchester derby on our hands. It is a proper Manchester derby. Feels like a cup final, but I guess it is because both teams playing for this Champions League place. So I'm still joined with Karen Bardsley and Paul Dickov. Paul, what did you make of the first half?
Yeah, exciting first half. Lots of action. Had a bit of everything. Injuries, goals chopped off, set pieces, but I would just like to see City settle down a little bit. You know, me and Karen were just chatting there. Second balls are massive. Whenever we pick up the second balls, we get possession in their half. We look really dangerous. And when they pick it up, they seem to be at us straight away. And it's a little bit like, you know, we've got the players in the team that can control the match, control the ball. We just seem, the occasion, which is understandable, is huge. That I'd just like to see us relax a little bit more. We're probably created the best chances in the game as well. But yeah, it's an exciting game.
KB?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think it's had it all, didn't it? Like you say, a goal chalked off, and we spoke about the threat of the wingers, didn't we? You know, and the fullbacks getting forward from United, and it's obvious that they're going to be looking for balls into the area, you know, heading, you know, from crosses. So it's no surprise to me that that's kind of where the threat's coming from. But to Paul's point, I think, yeah, we're just not seeing the quality, inconsistency coming through the midfield. I think, as much as I'd like, I think the spaces are starting to kind of really appear, especially in those transitional moments. But, you know, we have forced a pretty big save from obviously United's goalkeeper as well. And, you know, we've recognised that they're pressing player for player and they're attacking third. And I just think we're playing over that. So we've learned our lessons from previous fixtures, but I still think that I'd certainly like to see more. And we just have to manage the game better, don't we?
It is, and it's just that little bit of quality. I'm not saying we have to keep it for 10, 15, 20 passes. The chances we have created, it's been 2, 3, 4 passes with real quality on it and good movement, but done with a real good tempo about it without having to try and rush it. And it's so difficult in games like these for both teams. When you want to press and win the ball that much, you're 100 miles an hour, but it's important that you're not 100 miles an hour when you win it back. You know, that's the time you've got to take a breath a little bit. But throughout the half, you know, after a United first 5-10 minutes started really strongly, and it looked as if it was going to be similar to the game at the Etihad and the games I've had. But we have settled down a little and probably created the better chances throughout the half.
Yeah, I think definitely over the half we were the better team in terms of learning from that FA Cup. Like you mentioned there, KB, in terms of the final third for us, it feels like our best opportunities in that first 45 have come from a long ball from Chiara, not playing it out perhaps in the way that we're used to seeing us, getting the ball quickly up top to Carolyn, who's often able to hold the line and beat her marker off for being quicker. So it really feels like we have changed the way we play, as I say, learnt the lessons from the FA Cup there.
Yeah, I think, you know, Caroline Nicoli is going to want to get 1v1 with someone like Millie Turner, where she knows she's got a turn of pace and she'll be able to get beyond her. I think that seeing, as you say, you know, Kirsten getting higher up the pitch, seeing Lauren Hemp obviously getting higher up the pitch with a balance of Alex Greenwood now on that left-hand side. I just think we could maybe utilise that left-hand side a little bit better. But yeah, I think mixing it up is something that Nick Cushing is obviously going to want the girls to do, because you don't want to be predictable in the way that you play out, because then it just becomes too easy to fall into those traps. And then at Old Trafford, United are going to feel like they're on top, and we just really need to get a result today, don't we? So we just make sure that we're just alert to those changing situations.
I think Caroline's been outstanding, as in leading the line. You know, when the ball's come into it, it's stuck, as in holding it up. But the threat in behind, I mean, you know, defenders, they don't want to run back to their own goal.
No.
And every time we get the chance to do it, she's looked dangerous. She had an unbelievable chance in the first half. You know, great ball in from Alex Greenwood. Her centre forward movement was fantastic. You know, to get across the near post, and she was so unlucky. It was a fantastic save. But every time we get her on the ball, whether it's into feet to bring other people into the play, but more so running off the shoulder of the centre half, we look so dangerous when that happens.
Yeah, she really does. And I would say she had a great opportunity in that first half, involved in one of our goals as well. So some of the key moments from the half. So you mentioned United were better in the first sort of 5-10 minutes. The first opportunity of the game coming in the 12th minute, which was a disallowed goal. So it was Elizabeth Turland at the back post with a header, but it was disallowed. At first we weren't sure why, but when we watched it back, we were certain.
Of course, it was 100% a foul. Now, look, it was a little bit soft, but you know, in the game nowadays, as soon as you put one hand or even two hands, even if you're going to push, as soon as you touch them like that, the defender's done really well to win it, actually, by going down.
No, she did draw it out, didn't she?
Yeah,
kind of embellished it a little bit.
Absolutely, and she made it. And the referee's got no. As soon as you put your hands on somebody and they go to the floor, especially inside the box, the referee's got no other decision to make than give the foul. It was a little bit soft, but we're not complaining, are we?
No. Never complain of a disallowed goal at Old Trafford for United. Celebrate. Literally about 90 seconds later, City went up the other end and the momentum in the game started to turn. It felt like at that point for that opportunity that you mentioned, which was Greenwood to Caroline Nicolai and Chulis Joyce. We were talking about, before the game, how good she is. Comes up with another great save.
Yeah, I mean, I could get up and reenact it, but I won't. I'll spare you all
please.
that. No. But she does really well. It's low down to the right, Fallon Tillis Joyce, so she sweeps her right leg out of the way, and that sends her hand straight down as quickly as possible. But again, that ball in from Alex Greenwood was delicious,
Fantastic.
wasn't it? The shape on it, the fact that Nicolai was able to get across that near post marker as well and have a slight redirection onto target, I think was perfect. A good recipe, for the second half. Something I'd quite like to see more of.
It is, and we were talking about that. They were patient with it, but it was only patient for 2 or 3, 4 passes, And Lauren's got the ball. Normally she would have drove at the full back and got her cross in, but she's just laid a perfectly weighted pass back to Alex Greenwood. The ball in's fantastic, but yet again, I'll talk about the movement in the middle of the park. She's held her ground in the box. She's held it. She knows she wants to get across the centre half, and the time they run in the ball was fantastic, and it was an unbelievable save.
Yeah, brilliant save from her. Now, the next big opportunity for City came in the 29th minute there. Again, as we were talking, Chiara Keating ball straight up, just past the halfway line. Caroline Nicolai, as you say, off the shoulder of the defender, and she was forward, one-on-one, but obviously that didn't come off that time. City's first goal then came 10 minutes, so roughly after that, 38th minute, to make it 1-0. Hempo with the assist, 2 assists in 2 games to Aleixandri. And can we just take a minute to just all relish how good that finish was?
Yeah, no, it was a delightful finish in terms of the composure. I think in the area, you can probably speak better to that than I can. But when you've got that many bodies around you, you just shape the ball away from pressure. You shield it with your body, and then through traffic, beyond a 6'2" goalkeeper in goal. It was just a delightful finish, and a really crucial one to the emotional state of the game, I think, as well.
It was, and look, great talking about composure from Lauren, but then people talk about the first touch. The second touch was more, but the first touch was fantastic to take her inside the box, but the little touch that she has on the second touch just opens the whole goal out for her. And the finish and composure is fantastic right in the corner. And we're talking about what a world-class keeper she is. She had absolutely no chance with it. But that little second touch in the box was the one that opens the whole goal out. She can go either end in, but the little side-footed composure finish was top.
Such an insane finish. Can't wait to watch that back several times. City then doubled their lead a few minutes later. It came from a corner from Yui and Rebecca Knaak. I don't know where she came from, but her movement in the box was phenomenal, and it was a wonderful headed home goal from her, Paul.
It was, and look, that's ironic, really. United from set pieces have probably looked really, really dangerous, and we're talking about what a threat they are from it. But it was a fantastic ball in, hit a great area, and she's lost her marker, and I don't think 4 or 5 Man United players were still in front of her were going to stop her. She's just powered her way in, and it's a great header. And at that point, deservedly so, 2-0 because we were the better team, we were on top, we're creating the chances, and it's always nice to score a set piece goal as well. So I'm sure Nick will be pretty happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, loved that for her as well. Obviously, coming to the club and then getting an injury and then coming back for that. So Rebecca Knaak with the second goal. And then if only we could have just held on until half-time. But of course, Manchester United got a goal back to make it 2-1. Perhaps in the world of football cliches, a great time for them to score. At least, they'll go in at half-time not feeling as dejected. And that came from, I think it was Grace Clinton with the header at the back post.
Yeah, that's right. No, unfortunately, I think it came from transitional moments, didn't it, really, where Aoife Mannion gets on the ball and delivers a great ball into the area again from wide areas. And I think maybe Grace Clinton, the movement deep from midfield into the area, she just gets the wrong side of Kirsten Kasperai and then just manages to power it home. So it's a determined header, but yeah, a disappointing one to concede, I think, from a City perspective, especially in the manner and the timing of the game as well.
I think when United, it's pretty clear that their game plan is once and get in the final third, half a yard and put crosses in the box. I think the only disappointing thing, we had 2 or 3 players that maybe could have went out to Mannion and stopped the cross. We know that's what they're going to do. And then once she gets the run Aleixandri. It's so difficult when somebody's got to run on you. It's a great ball in and it's a great header and great goal from their point of view. But I just think sometimes you've got to stop at the source. We know they want to get the ball wide. We know they want to put crosses in the box. So whether it's your full-back or your wide player or your midfielder coming out, you've got to try and stop the cross.
Yeah, absolutely. Overall, really enjoyable first half, I think, for City. We're slightly edging the possession, dominating shots on target, so cannot wait for the second half now. Now, we're just going to take a moment to show you a little teaser of a new documentary that's coming up on City Plus. This one is super, super exciting. It is all about the arrival of our Japanese players.
We're in the other night.
You know what Conga is?
Centre back out.
Conga, the dance. Yeah, we were.
You're going to press and release off Yui at different times. It may look like this. You may face a press.
天気はやっぱり9月今上旬で寒いなって思いながら。
天気よりもっと寒くなるっていうのが自分的にはちょっと嫌だなっていうふうに思いますけど、まだ冬を迎えてないですけど、冬に向けて体を温めるものを集めようかなって思います。
Oh, Tokyo to Manchester. I cannot wait to watch that new documentary coming very shortly to City Plus. All about the arrival of our Japanese players there who just cannot fathom the cold here in Manchester. I love that from them. Although I've been to Japan and the snow was about this deep. So, you know...
I should take them up to Scotland for a couple of weeks. That'll soon sort them out.
So true, Paul. So true. I can't wait for that documentary. I've been fascinated for a while about why so many incredible players are coming out of Japan in recent months. And of course, we see, Maya Ziawa at United and other players dotted around the WSL as well that have come from Japan. So I can't wait to watch this documentary. In terms of the Japanese players that we have in the team, KB, let's have a quick start talking about Aimu Oyama. Of course, she was one of the players that came in the January transfer window. What a time to come to Manchester in January as well. Wow. Welcome. Yeah. What have you made of her so far?
Oyama, I mean, I don't believe she's had the ACL injury when she came in. Is that correct?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Or is it Oba Fujino that I've seen more
been
of?
Injured,
yeah.
yes.
So I've seen more of Oba this year when she's came in and made a massive impact in terms of like her ability to get up and down the wing, technical ability, crosses into the box as well. So I think she's been, she hit the ground running when she came in. Obviously, she's kind of been in and out of the squad at the minute as well, so I think she has been a bit of a miss. But yeah, I really like the Japanese players that have come over. Like, they've brought a lot of personality to the squad. I think obviously Yamashita is one that I've seen probably more often than not, and yeah, she's a really confident, goalkeeper. So I think the vibe that they've brought to the club has been really positive. Like, multicultural, there's always going to be something fun happening around those three.
Yamashita really came in and fit in, slotted right into the team. I thought her transition into the team was incredible. Yeah,
it felt pretty seamless, didn't it? I mean, she's got she's left-footed, so it adds another dimension, doesn't it, to how you play out as well, about her shot stopping, her maturity. But yeah, I think one of the stories that I remember hearing was they had a pre-season away trip, didn't they? And then she got up and was doing singing and stuff like that. And she just absolutely loves the spotlight. So to add that personality to the teams, massive, yeah.
So you goalkeepers always seem to have a personality.
I totally agree. We've all got a bit of a screw loose. Yeah, don't pretend like you haven't.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So yeah, I cannot wait to see that documentary all about the arrival of our wonderful Japanese players into the squad and into the team. So it is 2-1 at half-time to City. There is a huge 45 minutes of football coming up. We need the 3 points. All United need is a draw. They draw and they know that they've clinched that third spot in the league to get the Champions League. So we need to win at Old Trafford. So we will be back full-time where hopefully we are talking about a Manchester City win. So now we're going to get our second half commentary from the wonderful team of Alistair Mann, and with the magic of television, KB will be there shortly.
Thank you, Natalie. Welcome back to Old Trafford, where City have the scoreline. That will be exactly what they need to try and qualify for the UEFA Women's Champions League. Caroline Nicoli gets the second half underway. There have been 18 Manchester derbies, 5 United wins, 9 for City, 3 draws.